Good morning, everyone. I hope you can see me. We want to welcome you to the webinar today. My name is Jeffrey Smith, and on the chat today we have Kelly Stone. Kelly, let's see if we couldn't practice. Once we go live, it's live. So Kelly, are you on? Can you how's your video? Can you turn your video on?
Oh, start video. It says the host just stopped it.
Let's see. Don't know how to turn it on. Okay, well, Kelly's online as well as Jessica is online answering questions. Kelly will be visiting with me and talking as well.
Can you see me now?
No, but it will just keep going. I'm assuming you can see me. Now, for those of you who are just coming online, to make sure that we're broadcasting out of our office, if you don't mind in your chat, just tell us what your favorite Christmas gift is. I've received one already. This is my redneck back scratcher, and it's Lisa from our office gave this to me, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, in your chat, if you don't mind just telling us what your favorite Christmas gift is, money, obviously, yeah. So chocolate, there we go. So this is good. We appreciate knowing that we're broadcasting. Thanks for being here. House stuff, golfing, weather. Oh, well, very good. Very good. That's kind of fun. Good. It's a fun time of the year, and we appreciate you taking time, even though we're close to Christmas and the holidays. And so we appreciate you taking time and being with us today so we can talk about some of these things. We're really excited about what's going on here, and particularly the approval of the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction approving our online substitute teacher training. We wanted to share that with you. And so we're going to talk about that. Well, I'm going to shut the video off for a while, and so we can just focus on the slides as we go through and talk about these things. And then we'll come back and answer questions and so forth. So please feel free to pose any questions. And sorry about the link that I sent out. I had updated it, and so there is a new link with that for the slides. How can we get that to you? Kelly, can you post that in, or Jessica, can you post that into the chat feature? Just copy the link that I sent you guys and post it there.
Yeah,
and then
take care of it.
Good. Yeah, that'll be the best way to do it. And we'll also have a link, in fact, at steady.org/webinars, where you can view this webinar. We'll post it, and you'll have it available to look at and to review once we've done this. The handouts will also be there. All right, so we're going to talk today about, we introduced ourselves. So my name is Jeffrey Smith. I was the founding director of the Substitute Teaching Institute at Utah State University. We started in the late 1990s. We received a federal grant from the U.S. Department of Education to study substitute teaching nationwide. And we found out some very fascinating things. And ever since then, we've been working with school districts, staffing agencies, and regional service centers to help provide training and guidance and instruction to help improve student achievement. When the permanent teacher needs to be out of the classroom, that's what we've been focusing on, and how can we help substitute teachers and school districts with that. So that's what we do. I'm the director of steady.org, and with me today is Kelly Stone. We mentioned her. She's our district coordinator. Also go on the chat. We don't have Jessica's picture. Sorry about that. Jessica is our trainer. Today she's answering phones and keeping up with our customer service today. We have several people out of the office today, and so Jessica's kind of in and out of the webinar today. But please feel free to post any questions or any comments that you'd like to. We'd want to make sure that we address those as we go through today. Today, this is the 3-year short-term sub-license approved training we talked about. This is the link to the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, and I think as you go here, I'm going to go here. here. This is, so this is the 3-year, here it is. This is that site from Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction where it talks about the 3-year short-term substitute license, the instructions and so forth. If one has a teaching degree, they're not required to get this, but those who don't are required to take a training that's approved that has the components listed here for the department to approve this training. Each district can approve their own training as long as it meets their requirements. The Department of Public Instruction has approved some training, and as we scroll down here below, these are where training is available. The CESA is in throughout the state. But here they've listed us. We did submit our training. Kelly worked with the department and submitted our training, and they went through it rigorously and found that it met their requirements and have approved this. And so the link there is on their site for when substitutes go there to take it, they can go directly to the site, or you can link to it. We're going to talk a little bit about what the training involves and what the advantages of this are. But this is the Public Instruction, the Department of Public Instruction's website and training requirements. As I mentioned there on the site, these are the things that they require: basic school and district school policies and procedures, age-appropriate teaching strategies, and you can see those there, and techniques for starting a class, the culture for schools, so forth, working with lesson plans. And these are important, and we'll go over a little bit of this and how the training that we're offering, the SubSkills online training course, how it meets these requirements here. The SubSkills course is what was approved, and the district or the Department of Instruction said that it meets the requirements. It takes about 8 to 10 hours, depending on someone, how fast they want to go through and what they want to read. But it's presented classroom management, teaching strategies, professionalism, special education, and legal and educational issues. There are these 5 sections, and at the end of each section, they take an assessment. And that assessment, so there's 5 assessments. They take up to 4 attempts with each assessment. And so it does give them time. One can't sit down and just take the sub-assessment and pass it. They have to actually study the material in order to pass it. And so the assessment tests and quizzes them on the material that's been presented and how well they understand that and can implement that material. And but they do have up to 4 attempts. And so we want to give everybody the opportunity, and it's open book. And so it's we want them to be able to know the material and understand the material. And so the sub-assessment isn't, one has to put forth effort, but it is passable, and people do get through it without any problem as long as they study the material. Now, the next component is district-specific information. So for clients who require SubSkills training course, we will gladly, at no cost, put up district-specific information. So your substitute teachers who will be taking the training will also have a component that has your district-specific, whether it's your policies, whether it's your information that you want them to know about your schools, but they can have that where they can download it. And when they come into an orientation or come in to your processing, they can verify or validate that they've actually reviewed the material and they understand it. So that is an option, and you're welcome to take advantage of if you require this as a training for your substitute teachers. So at the end of all of this, they get a sub-diploma, and this diploma has been approved by the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction as proof that they have completed the training. And so that's available. They can download that. They can bring that to you. They can also apply that and show that to the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. There is a form that may be filled out. Is not required because the diploma actually meets those requirements for the state to show that they've received the training. Now, in addition to the training that they will get, with the sub-skills, the 8 to 10 hours, and the sub-assessment, and the district-specific information, and the sub-diploma. They'll also get ongoing sub-suggestions and newsletter. And this is, Jessica's great at this, has tips and suggestions, and providing continuing, ongoing, helps as they go throughout the year. And this will be ongoing for as long as they continue to want to receive those emails. It's a monthly email, and it's a good way to keep refreshed. Also, for those who pass the sub-skills with an 85% score, are invited to participate in a private Facebook support group. And this is a very active, fun support group. They share ideas. They say, hey, this is what happened today. What would you tell me to do differently, and so they can share ideas. They talk a lot amongst each other. This is a nationwide Facebook group, and it's intended just to support and provide a community for substitute teachers to participate in. So those who pass the sub-skills course with an 85% passing score are invited to participate in this. It's an optional thing. They don't have to, but it is there, and it's quite supportive. We have some of our staff are answering questions as well, but often many people who are on there are experienced. They've also been through the training, and they can help answer questions based on the training that they received and share ideas and lesson plans and so forth. Most importantly, because we tell that to the substitute teachers, is that we guarantee that you'll get a job for substitute teachers. Now, it means if they meet the requirements, pass the background check, and have completed the sub-skills course, and if they're not offered, they've applied and not offered a job, then we will refund the training. And we feel that confident that as long as they meet all the other requirements and they apply, that they won't be turned down because of their skill level or because of their what they don't know about substitute teaching. So we guarantee the cost of the training, that they will get a job with a school district. I'm just going to mention, and I know this is a required training, but it's so good that it is required, particularly for those who don't have a teaching degree. We haven't found really a link between the educational level of a substitute teacher and their performance in the classroom. Meaning someone with a 60-hour or 90-hour or bachelor's degree can have the same amount of success in the classroom as maybe someone with a master's degree or a PhD. If they don't have a teaching degree, there isn't really a correlation between those, but there is with training. And so by the impact of little or no training is that it increases the complaints registered against substitute teachers. So implementing a training or required training really does help with reducing the complaints. Also, no training increases the time it takes to process applicants, because we have to interview them more. We have to make sure that they are the right fit for the classroom. It increases type 1 and type 2 errors. Now, type 1 error in hiring is you've hired the wrong individual. Somebody that shouldn't be in the classroom, you've gone ahead and hired. Type 2 error is maybe you passed by somebody that would do very well in the classroom, but you missed them. So that's a type 2 error. And those two, we want to, of course, number one is more important. We don't want people who wouldn't do well in the classroom and aren't a good fit for the students. We don't want them in, but so little or no training does increase those types of errors. And so by having this training and by requiring training, it really eliminates those two types of errors. Also, it decreases the ability to set expectations. If prior to employment, you can set expectations, what you expect out of the substitute teachers. For example, that you want to make sure that they are teaching and not just babysitting. We're setting that expectation. They know well in advance that they are going to be on their feet. They're going to be managing by wandering around. They're going to have lesson plans ready or fill-in activities and so forth. And so we're setting those expectations. And you can talk to them about those expectations when they, if they're having struggles, and you've set those expectations. Also, it decreases student achievement. If we don't have competent, well-trained individuals, we really reduce student achievement. And so by even increasing the learning 50%, while the permanent teacher's out of the classroom, if we can increase the on-task behavior of these students and 50% increase in on-task behavior, we could have an overall 4% improvement in student achievement. If a teacher absenteeism is at 8%, meaning teachers are out of the classroom at about 8 to 10% of the time, and I know that in most districts it's much greater than that. But if we can improve the learning even 50% while a substitute is in the classroom, we'll have an impact on student achievement. That's what I get most excited about when I see a district come on board and require training for their substitute teachers. It does make a big difference in addressing these issues. Now let's talk a little bit about what training means. Training we're talking about here is the skill level of the substitute teacher, the skill level in their classroom management ability, their skill level in the teaching strategies, how to pick up a lesson plan and implement it. Also being prepared and professional. This is probably the number one complaint. Where we got these topics is, and they meet the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's requirements. But as we were studying, as I mentioned, we've got the federal grant from the U.S. Department of Education. And as we were studying what needs and what we needed to train substitute teachers in, of course, classroom management was number one concern of substitutes. They knew better. They wanted to be able to manage a classroom appropriately. And that's what we want them to do, is be able to know how to keep students on task and make sure it's a good, positive learning environment. And then students, believe it or not, when we asked them what they wanted out of their substitutes, they said, free day. Well, as you can well imagine, that's the first thing they talked about. But really, they know that they don't want to get behind. It's frustrating for them to have a wasted day and then have to work twice as hard tomorrow. And so teaching strategies, really, if a substitute teacher knew how to pick up the lesson plans left by the permanent teacher and implement them so the permanent teacher can follow up and continue the learning, we've made a big improvement. So teaching strategies. Now, being prepared and professional, this was the number one concern of administrators, that the substitute teachers were actually showing up on time. They were acting professional. They weren't coming in to read a book. They were coming in to be an educator, be part of the staff, and to be a positive part of students' environment. So being prepared and professional. Also, students with special needs. Sometimes substitute teachers won't take on special ed assignments. They're uncomfortable if they haven't had much exposure with students with special needs. And so by talking about this and preparing them about the terminology, preparing them about how nice it is to be into a class with 5 students with a paraeducator in there as well, as opposed to 35 students, and by yourself, it can be a very rewarding experience. And so that's why we address students with special needs, make sure that we're giving them the proper care that they need. Also, the appropriate use of fill-in activities. When we ask permanent teachers who their favorite substitute teacher was and why, without exception, it was Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, because they had a resource kit, a bag of tricks. We call it a sub-pack bag. So they have lesson plans. If no lesson plans are found, they have something that they can implement immediately. Also, if a student finishes early, their best students who finish early can become their worst students if they don't have something for them, if they hadn't thought through what they should have ready. And so the appropriate use of these fill-in activities, or if the 5 minutes before the bell rings, okay, we're done with the lesson, everybody can go. No, you can't. Or else that could be an eternity, that 5 minutes. So how is the substitute going to handle that? And so it's appropriate use of these fill-in activities. So these are the things that they're going to go through specifically in the sub-skills training course, and are addressed very, very well, and they can come back to it. We find that substitutes learn it, but once they get in the classroom, they realize, I wish I could remember that. They come back, they have the opportunity of coming back and reviewing sections that they would like to. And then we mentioned the orientation, the district-specific information. If that's available, that can be put on there, and then they can go through that. And that's an orientation. Often that's just don't touch the kids. This is how you're going to get paid. Here's how to use the automated system. And very important information, but it is more of an orientation as opposed to a skills training. But it is part of the package that they can have, and so they're well informed before they go in the classroom. We have talked about the skill level of the substitute, and I'm going to show a clip. So one of the first skill is to get and keep students on task. Now, permanent teachers, this wouldn't be the number one skill. It would be setting expectations. But for a substitute, it's getting and keeping students on task right off the bat. And the instruction that we give these substitutes in the training are begin the learning immediately, as an example. This is the first thing. And I'm going to play the video clip. You might not be able to hear it. Oops, didn't work. Try it again.
All right, gentlemen. Starters right on the board. Okay. Use a fresh sheet of paper and please put the date at the top, right where I can see it. Hi there. Starters on the board. Morning.
But what she's doing is...
Starter is on the board. Please use a fresh sheet of paper and put the date right at the top where I can find it easily.
All right. I heard it very well. You might not have. I might not have clicked to play the sound. So, but this video clip just shows a little bit of the substitute teacher standing by the door, greeting him, having a learning activity on the board already. Permanent teachers, our successful permanent teachers, have this, do this on a regular basis. And if we can get our substitute teachers to mimic what these successful teachers do, it'll go a long way, because they'll recognize, oh, this is an educator, not a babysitter. We're going to get to work. The longer it is from the time the students enter the classroom and start the learning, the longer that is, the harder it is to get them on task. And so to have that, if we could get our substitute teachers to do just this one skill, what a tremendous impact that would have on the day. And so this is just skill number one out of those, out of the 5 skills for classroom management, and classroom management is just one of the 5 components for successful substitute teacher training. So that's what they will learn. That's what they will see. They'll have an opportunity to practice that and to implement that when they're in the classroom. Now the sub-skills course, this is what they've approved is the basic option A. They've approved any of this, and then these others just build on it. But option A is what the substitute teachers would register for, and it's the online training. They do have some downloadable activities, but the instruction is done online, and they read it and they can take the test, and it's all online. Option B are for those individuals who aren't as comfortable on a computer as, say, in a book, and so they can have access to the substitute teacher handbook. We ship that out to them for the same price. They can study it in the handbook, and then they do come back online and take the assessment. So option A and option B, same material. One is presented online, one is presented in the handbook. The premium package, are the two together. We have quite a number of substitutes that do want the online resources, but they also want the handbook because they take that into the classroom. And so that's very effective. And so we have quite a few who do that, take that with them. And so the premium package is a very popular package. Also, the Ultimate has the premium, which is both courses, but then they also have the advanced courses as well. The advanced courses being advanced classroom management, advanced teaching strategies, and advanced special education. So these are refresher courses, but they're also go more into depth than what they actually get in the initial sub-skills training course. And so that's the Ultimate package, and that's it. Those are good packages, but those are the options that they have to participate with and take. And all of those meet the requirements. Now, so in some of our research, and I know this doesn't apply because they're required to take it, but those individuals who didn't graduate with a teaching degree, 73.62% are willing to pay for their training. And so Wisconsin requires it, but really it is good. They know better. They don't mind paying for training if they can receive a reward, either employment or a pay raise or something. And so they're willing to pay for training in order to be more competent in the classroom. This is the link. So I showed you where the link is at steady.org on the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction's website. It actually takes them directly to this site on our site, and we'll go there here. Okay, so here is the site that they come to. This is, as you can see, steady.org/WI. You can send your substitutes here directly if you want. But it shows where they have the option for option A, B, or both, or for the premium package. And there's other resources on there as well, but they can go directly to this so they can move on to the training that they want. Let me mention something else that we've been talking to districts about is does your website encourage people to apply? Are you putting on your website those things that would be very helpful for those individuals maybe who are looking to kick the tires as far as wanting to substitute teach and not really knowing if that's appropriate, if that's what they want to do, but would be very good if they have the information that they need. So make sure you talk about the excellent perks, specialized required training that they're going to get so they know better. People who are educated know better than to put themselves into harm's way in front of a class they have no concept of how to manage. And so they want to be trained so they can be successful. There's an orientation, pay weekly or whatever it is that they know that they're going to get. Make sure you talk about the flexible work schedule to accommodate their lifestyle. Also, the ability to select the school locations. Employee recognition program, including Substitute Teacher of the Year, for example, ongoing professional development. And don't forget to mention the biggest perk of all is making a difference in students' lives. Just even the one day substitute teacher may be in there can have an impact on the students, and so we want to make sure that they have that. Also on your website, we encourage you to use wording such as this. It's in the downloads, so you can take a look at this so that they will know that they're going to be well trained prior to entering the classroom. And so the more we can explain this and help them understand that you're going to help them handhold them all the way through so they can have that be successful once they enter the classroom, that goes a long ways to helping recruit people to come into your district and participate. So consider putting those things, looking at your website and making sure that you have really attractive wording and so forth. And if you want to help doing a video, we can help you do that and put that on there as well. This is the end of our formal presentation. Kelly, what comments do you want to make? Also, do you have questions that you want to answer from those people who have responded already?
We actually have not had too many questions come in. Mostly were concerning the slides. If for some reason you have not been able to access the slides, please let me know either now on the chat or questions, or you can email me later. And we also will be putting out an email to let all of you know how to get to the webinar on our website. If you want to look back over it again, get some of these slides, you'll have access to that on our website, and we'll tell you how to get there in a follow-up email that should be coming out towards the end of the day today. Great.
Yeah, we'll post this video. The handouts are there now, but the video's not. But it'll be on steady.org/webinars. We have all of our webinars there, and the handouts are already posted there. So you could look there, steady.org/webinars. Do we have paraeducator training? Yes, we
yes.
do. So go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, yes, I just saw those questions pop up there. I was looking at the wrong place, I guess. But yes, we do have a paraeducator training course. It's about half the time or half the length, probably a little less than that, than the sub skills or substitute teacher training. For the paras, we focus on classroom management and on special education. And I can, get in touch with you, Cindy, about that, or if there's any others of you that are interested in that training, I'm more than happy to work with you, give you access to take a look at it. You know, we would certainly be interested in helping you out with that.
Good. Good.
And then we also have a question about the program up and running on the DPI website. Again, on the DPI website, they're going to have a link over back to our website so that people can sign up. They have that link that Jeff just showed with the, you know, the Wisconsin.
Is that what you mean? Yeah, because it's there now, right?
You can link to it from the DPI site. That link brings it to the Wisconsin landing page so that they will be able to sign up, specifically knowing that they're doing the, you know, the right course for Wisconsin.
Yeah, so that goes right from their website to our website. Very good.
And if you have more questions about that, Sharon, you're welcome to reach out to me. Looks like we've got some on the chat. It says, will Wisconsin DPI accept the training certificate to issue the substitute license? I checked with them specifically about that, and they said yes, that sub-diploma that is earned when they complete the training, that is acceptable documentation. And again, any more questions about that, I can even show you, you know, where I received that information directly from the DPI. Chris asked about how to add customized content for the district. You would definitely want to contact me. You can send me whatever modules you have. If you have any questions about what that means, you know, I can give you an example. I can give you access to an example or two of what some other districts use, you know, as their district-specific module. But I can certainly do that for you.
Good. All right. Well, very good. Appreciate your attendance here today, and we wish you a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Please reach out. There's Kelly's contact information, and we'd be glad to help answer any questions and help your substitute teachers through this required training so they can get into your classroom as quickly as possible. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Bye.